You better think twice before you speak to me like that. If we get a divorce, then you leven be on the street, you parasite.
My husband, Will, sneered at me as that. Apparently, my husband did not know I had contributed to our family. I was so angry that I filled out the papers that he had shoved in my face then and there.
You finally signed the papers, huh?
He says that as he smirks at me. Well, you better be proud of your V while you still can. You'll be the one who gets hurt later, though. My name is Reese. I am 32 years old, and I am a full-time housewife. It has been 1 year now since I got my husband, Will. One might think that after a year of marriage, one would still be enjoying their newlywed status, but that was not the case. My husband became a very strict, bossy husband as soon as we got married. My husband and I met at a blind date. I am a little ashamed to say that I work for a company where I have graduated from an all-girls college with very little experience in love and after becoming a company employee, so busy with work that I had no time romance. When I realized that I had reached, I panicked a little and began to pair in blind dates. And that was where I first met Will. He was also an office worker at AC. He was 2 years older than me. Being of the same age, we had a great conversation, and it was fun. He asked me for my contact information after exchanging them. He asked me for a date. It had been so long since I'd gone on a date, but he took the lead, and we had a great time. After that, Will confessed his feelings for me, and we started going out.
Since we are at this age now, I want together with marriage in mind.
He had said that, and we proceeded relationship smoothly. With me being the possibility of marrying him. We continued dating for about a year, got married. I had never been in a relationship, and I think it is a miracle that to get married. My friends around me kept saying would be perfect. If only Reese could someone good enough for her. And since I was the only single friend in our group, I was the one most likely to be the first to get married. I was so happy to be congratulated by people at the wedding, including my friends and colleagues from work EI. I realized that getting married was a happy thing, but now I think about it, the wedding was actually the peak of my happiness. After marriage, I quit my job to become a full-time housewife. As my husband had asked me to do better since becoming a full-time housewife, I worked hard at doing the household chores properly every day, cooking and cleaning. But despite all the efforts, there was one thing that was just hopeless, and that was my husband's earnings. Although my husband had asked me to become a full-time housewife, he earned less than what he had expected. We managed to make ends meet, but it was still difficult and luxurious. It would have been even more difficult if we ever had a child. But my husband put a lot of pressure on me, saying, I'll do my best to earn money, but do nae slack off on the house chores. I think I should really ask Will to help me increase my income a little. I'm thinking of starting a part-time business, but my husband seems to value the fact that I do work outside the home. I wanted to work, but it seemed difficult for me to find a job. So I've been living off of when I go grocery shopping most of the time. Whenever I tried to cut back on the amount of food I ate, my husband would immediately say, "We don't have much food today. Are you slacking off?" So like this, I have to cook a lot of dishes to satisfy my husband as well, and it costs me a lot of money since I buy a lot of ingredients. When I add in the rent, utilities, and other expenses, my husband's salary only leaves us with about $100 each month. Because of this situation, cannot afford to buy my own clothes or cash. Still, I had fallen in love with him and married him, So I wanted to make that our life as a married couple. But then, in the midst of all this, complained to me.
Hey, the money I can use this week amount a little too small? $100 is really nothing.
What? But I'm not sure if it's a good idea to use this method.
What do you mean, but I'm going to get a little more money from my shared account, okay?
How much will it cost?
About $300, I think.
That's a bit too much, don't you think?
Excuse me? What the hell are you saying? If I say I'll take some money here,
Since Will was too clueless, I thought I had to tell him this. So I said it boldly.
With the amount of what you earn, can only have you take $100 shared account.
what? There's no way. Your way of controlling the family is clearly not good.
But even if you say that, I can have you take more than 100 while you want me cut down the budget for our food.
You really are a useless scumbag wife.
Excuse me, do you know where the nearest bus stop is?
When I had boldly argued against him about our current situation, he treated me horribly.
If you go against me like that, there will be a divorce.
Why would you even say that?
It's because you won't obey me. Do you realize that if I leave you, you will have no choice but to become homeless? So, just obey and do as I tell you to.
And my husband forcibly took 300 out of our shared account and forced me to make ends meet with the rest of the money he had. But when I cut back on the food budget, she'd make a scene and complain as usual. At this rate, we would not be able living and we would just lose more money. So I made up my mind to get a second. I'm actually perfect with computers and machines, and I was an engineer when I previously worked at the company. I found a site where I can register to work as a freelancer and receive requests to create web pages and provide various services. I put my working experiences and other information so that I could get work. At first, the jobs were pretty cheap, but I was still happy to get them. $100,000, $200 would still be a lot of help. And it was kind of fun to be able to, the first time in a while. From then on, I worked hard to get more jobs on my own. Then, as my performance increased, price per case went up. I found myself earning about $500 a month about 3 months after I started the freelance work. $500 can buy me a lot of things. Earning some money seemed to stabilize my mind with all the concerns I had, and allowed me to spend my daily life more peacefully than before. But lately, my husband has been spending a lot more money than he used to.
He started buying expensive clothes and accessories. I mean, how can you buy such things $300 that you have?
I simply wondered how he was buying, so I asked him. Then my husband said something which
Oh, well, I withdrew money from our account and spent it, of course.
What is the best way to get rid of a cold sore?
You said you don't have any money. Have it all saved really well.
I quickly checked the balance on the app of our shared account. Then it turned out that the money saved on the side had decreased by
Oh, no.
Since you lied to me that we have no money, I'll reduce the amount of more you get, and E11 be taking $500 per me to use it for the week.
No way. That's too much. How much more do I have to cut back?
As you can imagine, I had reached I couldn't let my husband do whatever he wanted any longer.
You should at least understand I'm working so hard on your limited, and I think you should at least be me and being grateful for it.
When I said that, my husband's face turned red, and he became angry.
You have some nerves to insult me. Wow, you really pissed me off. Now, E11, be taking $700 or 6. If you don't agree to it, I'll divorce you.
Saying that, my husband took out some documents from a drawer.
I beg your pardon? Why do you have these divorce papers?
I prepared all this just to make you threatened. So, if you ever go against me again, I will really divorce you.
This is just completely unbelievable. How could Will be so arrogant to sell this? But unfortunately, at that time, I was earning a small amount with my side job. If possible, I would like to raise a little more. Besides, now that my husband has the liberty of increasing the amount of which he would take, for the week, I raise my own income, the cost of living being so high. I worked harder than ever and tried on more work. Then one day, my income suddenly I began to receive work from several clients on a daily basis with a higher price. I found myself earning about $4,000 per month. At this point, I didn't need a husband, but was being very bossy and strict with him, though he didn't make much money. Then, around that time, my husband began to pick on me again.
You really don't have much variation dishes you make. You really are a useless, good-for-nothing wife. You're a full-time housewife, so why are you so bad at doing the house chores? You're not even pretty, and you're just a housekeeper. You're the worst.
What do you mean, a housekeeper? Have you been looking at me like your housekeeper instead of your wife?
Of course. I took in a dull, plain woman as my wife, so you better be grateful I did that for you.
What did you say? I can't believe you. You really are the worst.
While saying that, he took out the papers and shoved it into my face.
If we get a divorce, then you'll be on the street, you parasite.
My husband, Will, sneered at me as that. Apparently, my husband did not know I had contributed to our family. I was so angry that I filled out the papers that he had shoved in my face then and there. My husband was momentarily surprised, but seemed happy as he looked at the documents I had signed.
When you're out on the streets, being homeless, I'll make sure that I'm going to film you on my phone. Now pack up your stuff and get the of here.
Well, you better be proud of your V while you still can. You'll be the one who gets hurt late, though. I did as I was told, and I packed up my life, and I immediately stayed at a hotel. My parents' house is in the countryside, another district. After spending some time in a hotel, I went back to my parents' house. My parents were surprised to see me return home, but they were angry when they heard what had happened. After relaxing a little at my parents' house, I decided to punish my husband even more severely. In fact, I had suspected something ever since my husband started to spend money on things. So I had asked a private investigator to look into my husband, and it turned out that my husband was having an affair behind my back with another woman. What's more, his mistress seemed to be the wife of the manager of the department he worked at. So I sent a content-certified letter to Will's company and also sent the manager the photos and documents proving Will and the manager's wife were having an affair. Soon after that, I received a call from my ex-husband.
Hey, what the hell did you do?
What do you mean you were sneaking and doing bad things, so I only let the public know about it?
You've got to be kidding me. Because of you, I have no job now, and I am already in a lot of trouble, you know.
My ex-husband's affair became quite public within the company, and it made the department manager very angry and apparently made an awful impression on him. So Will had a pay cut and was a regional office as a demotion in. It must be really difficult to take when the salary is so low to begin. I also believe that being a freelancer is better and you can still earn more than working at a regular job.
Oh, yeah, and of course, I'm gonna alimony from you as well.
What's up with that? How dare you? What the hell do you have against me? Would you go that far to make me suffer like this?
What the hell are you saying, Will? Did you think that I wasn't angry at being abused by you and hearing all those horrible things from you and then having another woman behind my back? Oh, don't you worry, you're gonna be just fine.
When I said that angrily, my ex-husband suddenly sounded weak and sad.
What do you mean?
What are you even talking about? How am I even gonna benefit from...
No, I don't have any income. So if you get a part-time job or something, we can make ends meet.
Well, that's too bad because I'm already earning $4,000 per month.
Pardon?
I make quite a lot as a freelancer, you know. All I need is a computer to work anywhere and have fun while I work. So there is no need for me to remarry.
No way.
My ex-husband seemed really shocked that I make significantly more money than he does. But it's none of my business anymore.
Well, I don't have anything else to say, so I'll hang up now.
Oh, hey, wait up.
With that, I hung up the phone and all incoming calls from Will. After that, I put a restraining order to prevent him from coming over to my parents' house, and I moved to Thailand. It had been on my mind for a long time. Currently, I am living a comfortable life while working from home in Thailand, where the cost of living is quite reasonable. Since I've experienced enough with life, I think I will continue to end life on my own in Thailand.
It's pretty lame that Will has a low, even though he was the husband and acting all arrogant like that. And it's disgusting that he had an affair. A man like him really should go to treating his own wife like that. Reese could have punished him a lot, don't you think? But whatever the case, I'm glad that you have divorced Will and have a better life now. I hope Reese will continue to enjoy in Thailand and be happy.
Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.